Kuzazampala, and welcome to the first episode of DSP Podcast 2026. This podcast brings to you the remarkable stories and transformative achievements of Desuung Skilling Program, or DSP. The DSP is on the mission to cultivate a skilled, resilient workforce driven by youth. I'm Choni Zug, getting this honor to host this episode. I'm really excited about today's guest who brings a truly global perspective to education, innovation, and skilling. Joining us today is Iulius Carebia, an educator with over 15 years of international experience, having taught and led in some of the world's top international schools, including Institut Le Rosey in Switzerland. As part of the Desuung Skilling Program, he serves as a teacher trainer, specializing in learning technologies, AI integration, entrepreneurship, and innovative pedagogical approaches. And today we're diving into DSP and why and how you should be taking advantage of it. Welcome to the podcast, Iulius. How are you doing?
Very well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I need to just jump right in and ask you, how has your experience so far been in the country?
Fantastic.
All right.
Thank you very much for having me here. And then being in Bhutan is a dream. It's a dream come true, basically. I came here last year for the very first time I came for a conference and invited by a close friend. And then immediately I was invited to the DSP. DSP had one of these AI events. And then within a second, I knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to come back here and whenever time allowed me to, and then provide skilling to the people here. Because I believe in this program, I believe in the vision of the DSP, and then I feel great being here. So thank you.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that you were able to come back.
Okay.
What have you been up to after you decided to come back the second time?
And the second time I came in and straight from the airport, I was dropped into the course straight away. Yes.
Okay, no time wasted.
No time wasted. That was very good. So we had a program for teaching teachers, actually. Our students were 20 teachers from different zonkas in the country. So
all Desuung, by the way.
All Desuungs, yes, exactly. All part of the Desuung program, all Desuungs, all teachers, ICT teachers in different schools across the country. And my program was a 3-week program intended for creating different new learning technologies and giving them exposure to international technologies, international innovation, and how the international education works, like, basically.
I see, okay.
Yes.
Now, for those of you who are watching, you might be confused because we're talking about DSP programs, skilling programs, and but we're also talking about ICT. And we're talking specifically about ICT and technology because Iulius here is a special person we've invited to the country to help our youth, and also specifically for Iulius to help the professionals who are already employed hone their skills in ICT. This is why we were specifically talking about ICT. All right. Let's talk about why do you think the youth and our professionals, our young professionals who already have a job, need to work on their skills with regards to ICT and AI?
That's a very good question, indeed. And the world is in constant change, right? I was thinking like this. If I start with a bit of history, I got my first computer when I was in grade 6. By the time I attended high school, we had like computer science and coding and technologies. By the time I went to the university, the jump was so high that I basically was left behind. And the advance of the technologies, and that was at the beginning of the 2000s, right? 20 plus years ago. Now, with the advance of the AI, the technologies change every day, day by day. We have examples of different applications and learning technologies that we teach our teachers, and then when they go back to school, everything has changed, everything has improved, everything has increased. Also, in brackets, certain professions, and then we discussed this one with the teachers, are changing for good. So, for instance, because of the AI, one of the professions that disappears is a translator. So basically, unfortunately for the translators, they need to very quickly gain new professional development and learn how to use AI, because AI can replace that. So to come back to the questions, skilling and exposing young people to the AI and then to the learning technologies is a must in this society, in this rapidly changing society, where everybody has a phone, everybody has access to the internet, everybody can check a review online, everybody can check the transparency that is online, and then the advancement of the AI and the internet and the technologies makes it mandatory for the young people to be in line with these technologies.
I see. Having had experience outside of Bhutan.
Yes.
15 years, more than 15 years of experience. Does it feel, how does Bhutan look in terms of?
I'm absolutely amazed by Bhutan, and I'll tell you why. Because when I came here, Bhutan is this mix. It's a very beautiful mix between very traditional schools with like high technologies.
Okay.
And then when you read the news, you read about the GMC, you read about the DSP providing skills in AI. You have schools that actually, every school, including schools in Laya and Lunana, higher up in the mountains, use ICT classes. And then for me, and everybody uses this like Google education platforms. And when I wasn't aware of that until I came here. And then I realized this is everybody's on the line with the technologies, and everybody's so advanced here. On the other hand, you have like the whole national ID into Ethereum right now. So you have like blockchain technologies powered by the clean energy, and then you see the Gelefu. And then I think Bhutan is can be a very important player in terms of technologies in the world in the future. It's happening right now. I'm amazed by that.
Yeah.
I went to visit Thimphu Tech Park. I went to visit Fab Lab with the DSP. DSP also has a Fab Lab, and the technologies they do here, they're like top in terms of the world technologies. Yes.
I see.
So Bhutan is very advanced. I have to admit.
I'm very glad to hear that, and I do agree. This change into being technologically sound, if I may,
yes,
has started in the last 5 to 10 years, and I think it has a lot to do with how His Majesty has reiterated time and again about the importance of keeping up with technology, and you have come at a great time, I believe.
Absolutely. And I think that I truly believe in His Majesty's vision on technologies and the future of technologies, on employing skills. And also I would like to mention DSP here, because this is very interesting. And I will mention it right now. At the end of my course, I had to have a speech, right? So I had a speech about the closing ceremony, the closing speech. And I mentioned a story, an analogy to a Greek god of Hephaestus, who was the god of, in the ancient Greece, he was the god of crafts, of craftsmanship, of metallurgy, of like skills, basically. And then in my presentation, I mentioned that DSP is like the Hephaestus god. And then providing skills to everybody, creating these agents, right? Of like skilled agents, you do that, you do that, you do that. And everybody, and also shows like resilience. And then somehow I associated that one with His Majesty's vision on the DSP, providing skills, and then linking and making everybody technology savvy and technology sound in this, again, changing world.
Absolutely right. You specifically train people who are professionals, actually, like in the recent case, teachers, right? But there are also other programs available at DSP for ICT.
Yes, I'm in charge. We started a new program when I came here, and that program was to provide professional development to the teachers, DSUPs basically, and then to upskill them. But I also invited to work with other undergraduates and then new people in the field of work who would need like a bit of skilling in the AI, just to understand what is AI, how do we eat AI, what is a prompting, how do we get full advantages of the AI, how can we learn about the AI to apply for a job, how important is skilling versus a degree, or like where are we standing there. Yes, and then DSP has more programs, has more ICT, AI programs, for the teachers, for the youth, for everyone who wants to join that. And it's, I can totally recommend these programs because that's where you learn and that's how you you get to know what's happening in the real world.
I see. And now these programs are not only available for DSUP, they're also including GELSUPs.
Including GELSUPs as well.
Yes. So why do you think is important? Why do you think is, oh my goodness. So why do you think, okay, let me just start again.
Of course, yeah.
So now these programs are also available, not just for DSUPs, but also GELSUPs. Why do you think is it important for us to teach them young or get them started young? And not just ICT, but on these, I believe, 212 programs that DSP provides. Why do you think it's important for us to start young?
Every time when you apply for a job, they ask you, what experience do you have? There's even the memes online, right?
Yeah.
Of like
entry-level job.
Entry-level, you want to have, you want to be 20 years old with 25 years old of experience, right? So how do you get this experience? And then usually in the world, in the universities, experience happens through internships. Experience happens to summer practice campaigns. So you go to different companies, you knock on the door, hello, can I spend 3 months here learning all this? That was part of my job, to bring these companies into schools and then give the students exposure to these companies and let them experience these companies. When I came here to Bhutan, I realized that DSP does that. So Bhutan is probably one of the few countries that has an institution in place that offers skills for the youth, basically. I would love to join one of them, for instance. I would love to learn Zonka, and then because there are many skills and practice. In Singapore, for instance, where I spend the past 10 years, all these courses are done at the community clubs around different townships in Singapore, right? It's not something like centralized like here, but here this is the DSP. What is DSP great for is like combining and bringing everybody together, offering courses to sign up based on different courses, and then where people can get skilled based on their passions and based on their interests. I think that's the best. And everything is published. It's a great communication. They have great communications channels, social media, everything is on the internet. And yes, just the cafeteria next to me. Right now, there was advertising on the Facebook. And then because the main manager who was a graduate of the DSUPs, was a barista, and then he later on opened his own venue. And that is great, basically, because you go, you get skilled, and then they teach you how to become an entrepreneur, basically.
I agree. When I started off, there was a huge gap, called the employment gap, where the degrees didn't match what the market demanded. So I think this is a great bridge to fill the gap and have actually youth be trained in skills that will get them employed. In my office too, we have like a producer and a couple of camera guys who were DSP trained, and they came on the job. They were one of the few people. There are few of the many people who got hired with the skills already. Otherwise, we had to train them on the job. Right. So DSP plays a huge role in equipping our youth with the skills necessary to get them employed.
I can second that, and I think that's the right word. Is a bridge. Is a bridge between your studies, your degree, and the employment, basically.
Now, there's also a myth that surrounds. Usually, when we think of these skilling programs, you think they're not necessarily for people who are academically excellent. Is this still a myth, or how do you
not necessarily? Well, it has to be fun, basically, right? Is that you go and learn something that you would like, and then you probably, in my case as well, I'm an engineer by trade, but I became a teacher because I realized that I like teaching, and then I like sharing what I learn and my knowledge as well. And I think, just like me, many people share the same vision and mission of doing something that you like.
Yeah.
And then you might be, because of the circumstances of life, because of your family, because of your parents, because of your opportunities, right? As an example, I would like to become a marine biologist, but there's no way to study marine biology in my country, right? This is just an example, right? And then I guess that many people are being forced until a certain age to follow their academic project to rewrite the road. And then suddenly they decide that, no, I want to do something else. But maybe I don't want to abandon my degree in tourism and I want to start a cafe, but something similar. I want to combine that. And I think this is where Desuung comes in perfect, just like a Lego brick. It's because it matches your skills with your desire, basically. Not necessarily real linked to the academic, can be a myth, cannot be a myth, but then it's more about the passion and then what would you like to do?
I see.
Yeah.
My brother, who's just finished college, also took advantage of, he's a DSP, and he took advantage of one of the DSP programs in learning Japanese.
Learning Japanese, fantastic, yes.
So and he's still unemployed. He knows to speak Japanese.
You never knows what opportunities he has in Japan. Yes.
Or with people working in Bhutan, Japanese working in Japan.
Exactly.
In Bhutan.
In Bhutan, yes.
Where are these DSP programs available, by the way?
Well, I found them on social media, basically. And they're also a website for the DSP, but most of them, you find them on social media because they share stories about that programs. And that was like very, very good. During the New Year's Eve, I was invited at the DSP Gala where they published a video about like different programs. And what I was amazed by is initially when you think of, and that's the misconception, you think of skilling programs of you learn carpentry or you learn technologies, but you learn whatever you want. Like there was one person who became a DJ through the Desuung program.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so I saw him in the video. AI training, culinary training, languages, local arts and crafts, everything basically. Mostly on social media, you go there, you find the success stories, and then I repeat again, I came to this place because I saw the story on social media, so it works. It has an impact.
Wow.
Yes.
And there are actually success stories that are not just relevant to the country. I believe we have trained excellent chefs who are actually now employed outside of the country too.
Good to hear that.
Yeah.
I would. I tell you, I will try to find a Bhutanese restaurant outside the country.
Oh, yes. You find plenty now, trust me.
Okay, I will definitely go. I'll give you a picture and a postcard from there, yes. Very good.
Okay.
Also, there's a calendar I saw on the social media, there's a calendar with all the courses on the first quarter. And there are like a few hundreds of them, basically, in the different zonas.
Oh, yes. I heard it is, these DSP training centers are located in the Central, Eastern, and South. I think helping keep people, giving them the opportunity to train.
Yes. And there was a calendar, and then you look, and then, I like this one. Plumbing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And these skills, usually you only have to learn. You could only learn it on the job.
Yeah.
We never, especially like plumbing you mentioned, we could never learn it in schools.
But you know what the thing is? I would recommend these courses to everyone for their because it's in my garage. I love carpentry. This is my side hobby, for instance. I like to make my own furniture. I can learn these skills at Desuung. Yes. True. So I can look for a course of 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks of carpentry. Based on my free time, I can, whenever I have time off or in my holidays or at weekends, I can go and I can train. Yes, or I can learn something about culinary, like how to cook. Yeah. Like, where do you learn this? Usually, when you think about learning comes by either you learn from your family or from your friends, or you learn by yourself or on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
But then, again, you have something... You have gold here, so you need to harvest it. You need to mine it. And that gold is literally Desuung. Going there and checking what programs they have and sign up for them.
If let's say, because there's a lot of training programs available, if a DSP is confused about which skilling program, what advice do you have?
Well, I would start with a passion, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ask yourself.
In? Yes, but then also kind of like putting in the balance of what would be my... Again, this is the difference between you have a job or you don't have a job. If you have a job, how can I increase? How can I go up a bit?
Better.
How can I do better? Yes. And in this way, I can look for something in like technologies or in entrepreneurship or in leadership, probably. If my aim in the next 5 years, you kind of like need to set up an aim for the 5 years. What would I like to become in? What would I like to be in the next 5 years? based on that, you can look and then you can choose a course. Because again, being recognized in your job, in your capacity, also works with like courses you do outside of your work. And then this one works perfectly because let's say I'm doing a leadership course where I learn how to lead a small team, and then so on. I can go up on the scale basically. I can work myself my way up. And, yes, probably that
You see.
says it all, right?
DSP has like, it's not just in textbooks, these skills. They have actually, about like 53% of them are already employed. 53% of people who've done the training, right?
Okay.
So from what you've seen, what helps some participants have a better success at getting employed? Are there specific traits or qualities?
I realized that the new trend right now is mostly AI.
Okay.
So the AI and the new technologies are definitely the main trend right now. Most of the jobs required to be proficient in using your computer, in using technologies. And most of the tasks can be automated by AI. But you need to be in charge of those ones. So you need to learn how to use technologies, how to automate. Let's say you will be hired, you go in a company and then you start from bottom. You'll be hired as just to write, compile data, all that. If you master AI or if you learn about AI, you can immediately automate that. Make everything automatic and then learn how to be more productive. So definitely AI is a trend right now.
But feels like AI, ICT, already these are, well, very intimidating, I'll be honest. What kind of programs are available at DSP that could help? Which kind of
Well, they're different. They're different. They're very, very good question. There are different programs. There's an introductory course of ICT and AI, which will take you from zero to hero. Or there's also something more advanced, like what I'm offering, basically. Well, I'm offering both, and then depending on the clientele. The ones that professional development, I'm looking at the people who wants to upskill. The ones for the beginners, I'm trying to design my courses in a way to introduce them basic, just using the phone, for instance. So my last course with the Play School was everybody using the phone, how to use certain AIs that they're available on your WhatsApp, basically, and then you can quickly create some lesson plans and some lessons idea on the way to work. So you can start basic with the basic information, and then you can quickly master something on the way to work.
I see. So what are we expecting? Let's say if there are a whole lot of people who've taken advantage of the DSP program, specifically in ICT, what do you imagine would it look like in workspace or in the country?
Well, I would hope that again, this is not not something that I can foresee. Well, I can foresee it right now. I think Bhutan would become a very important player in terms of like technologies. And I really hope that. And I'll tell you why, because you have like two main advantages. You have the language. Everybody speaks English here, which is completely different from many other countries where people don't have English as a native language. And just certain people get selected for certain languages. And second, mentioning His Majesty's vision of like becoming a very technology-enriched country, can attract, and it already happens, many companies setting their influence or like their hubs here. And I think the GMC is kind of like, that's exactly what is meant to be in the future. Creating a big hub of the companies, of the top players in the world to come here and then to hire local people. And I think, there are two different things. And one thing is like the upper part, like the leadership, who's organizing this one. That already started thanks to His Majesty's vision. And on the other hand is the training institutions that upskill and they help people to join these companies. So hopefully, yes, when I come again here next year, I will see more, and then I can see more advantages. Yes.
I think it's about 18,000 people have already taken advantage of the various DSP programs available. What kind of a mindset shift do you think these people experience having?
The word for that is like being progressive, I think. And being progressive meaning being willing, you are willing to let yourself being into a new universe, into a new universe of new skills, into a universe of new technologies, into a universe of new ideas, basically. It's not easy. It's not easy to suddenly, hey, I want to do that. Let me go and then see what happens, especially if you're struggling, oh, I need a job. So if you're rushed by certain factors. But from what I've seen, based on those people, out of like what you mentioned, 18,000 people, there are many success stories. So maybe their success stories can reflect the reality of what happens, and then the positive progress, the positive impact what DSP is offering, basically.
In addition to ICT, do you see any other areas of where I think Bhutanese youth will thrive?
I've seen a very interesting project also at the Chogo with the solar panels, and then there was some DSP are working on that. And if you're talking about, and this is very important, if you're talking about sustainability, if you're talking about like the clean energy, and Bhutan is known for that. If you ask any person in Europe or outside Bhutan about Bhutan, they will mention that Bhutan is the first negative carbon country, is the cleanest country in the world. And based on that, you need to use all these technologies like solar energy, like wind energy, and they starting happening basically. So that could be a very successful story with that solar energy. And then again, you have like so many remote villages, they required energy, right? It requires solar energy that can be easily, in the future, with the help of the DSP, skilling people, go in there and becoming like technicians of installing solar panels across the country. This is one example, which I've already seen happening already. That can be in the future, or the remote internet right now. So they have like remote internet, even up in the last village up somewhere in between the glaciers, you can have like people with access to internet, energy, and you can develop a small school there.
Okay. I think we're almost coming to the end, but I can't let you go without asking, given your global experience, how do you think DSP is different compared to the other training institutes elsewhere?
Yes, very good question. As I mentioned before, I think I was drawn to this the moment I came to Bhutan. In my previous experience, and I've been for the past 15 years in Asia, working in different countries. I'm an international educator. And then I've seen people, the hardest part is to get access to professional development or to skills. You need to be associated to an institution. And after a certain part, you need to apply for the budget, you need to apply for the funds, and then you need to go to train. But not most of the educators in my case, not most of them will go. So the school has to send you, and then you need to be usually one person a year goes. It's very, very hard, and people don't have it on their radar. The people don't think of that. What happens here is completely different, because that's an institution that is really meant for that, provides that. So I think DSP is great and has a fantastic potential for the young people, for the people in their careers, for the people who want to do something else, for the people who would like to upskill, for the people who would like to improve, for the people who would like to find another meaning, for their meaning, or just to learn something else. And that is as a national organizations, when you see everybody dressed in orange, where you see, even if you go to Punakha, even if you go to other counties, to other zonkas, you see people dressed and these guys are Desups. And also Desup is started as the guardian of peace, right? So they are the main people responsible for helping community, right? And I've seen many stories. They helped with COVID, they helped with natural disasters, they helped with cataclysm, they helped with problems, yet they also train in the field of improving. So that is really, really great. I mentioned in Singapore, they have this small training, but not really training per se. It's more for like a hobby that you kind of like do it. Let's say you want to learn how to dance, or you want to learn like calligraphy, or you want to learn how to speak other languages. You would go to the community centers on a Saturday morning. You apply for something, but it's not like they don't offer courses. They don't. Probably they do, but not like here. Here in Bhutan, DSP is like the god of, as I say, Hephaestus, right? The ancient Greek god of skills.
Wow.
And it works perfectly, yes.
Amazing. This it really is. Let's see, if you could give an advice to somebody who's watching this podcast right now, what advice would you have if they are contemplating taking advantage of one of these DSP programs?
Yes, of course. The easiest one, I'll give you the advice that I gave to myself. Join DSP. Because that's literally what I did when I came here. I joined DSP, and I'm always traveling with my DSP on, and I have a DSP jacket as well. So I'm glad to be part of the DSP. Even when I travel, it's like for me, as a foreigner in the country, for me is like a business card to the DSP. And then everywhere I go is like, hey, I'm DSP. Everybody knows, everybody kind of like puts me into a place. Oh, you live here, or you know what's happening, or you know what's happening. So I think DSP works more like a social network, in a way of like DSP is based in is everywhere, right? Probably is in every single zonka. DSP is like a family. And DSP is you volunteer. Many people do volunteers. You have those stints of like serving 2 weeks there, or like doing the border or whatever that you do. But the way I see DSP is more like a family. I would join DSP as a volunteer just to be part of the family, because it will help me when I travel into different parts. It will help me. It will give me a sense of national pride. Basically, it will give me a sense of like being part of the society, helping and contributing to this great country. On the other hand, you have skills. On the other hand, you have events. On the other hand, you would know what to address if something is wrong. So it works like a big family.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Iulius. Is there anything I missed that you'd want to add to it?
I think it's great. So I was really, really happy to talk about the DSP, as I found it as being probably one of the greatest programs that I've seen in the world.
Well, we can clearly see how passionate you feel for
Very much
this
so,
and
yes.
how excited you are. We're very happy to have you and be a part of our DSP team.
Thank you very much, and I would like to continue that. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. For those of you, these are information that I would like to throw out there. There are requirements for you to be able to participate in the DSP program, such as you either have to be a Desuung or a Yelsup. So if you want to take advantage of these programs, you have to take the opportunity to become a Yelsup or a Desuung. Then there are also points. So for some of the programs that have a lot of demand, the point system still works. I think you have to accumulate a certain number of points for you to be able to enroll in those programs. If I miss anything, I'm sure my team here will be able to put the information down. If there's a comment box or description box, if there are any other queries, you will be able to get in touch with the DSP team through their website or their social media accounts. But other than that, we are done here. Thank you so much to our guest here for being a part of the first episode of the podcast. And for those of you watching, we hope this podcast gave you a lot of information and a lot of motivation. You could actually feel the passion and the enthusiasm from our guest. So I hope you take advantage of all the plenty of programs that DSP is providing. And with that, thank you so much for your time, for your precious attention. Take care and bye-bye.
Thank you. Karen.